Hello. Hey girl. Hello. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, friends. Good evening. Welcome. We're going to be doing some yin yoga this evening. If you've never done yin yoga, it's slightly different than normal practice. We're only going to be doing 6 to 7 poses or so, and we're going to be holding each of them for several minutes, so it makes it that much more impactful. Nowhere to hide. Normally, it's a really heavy prop-driven class, but today I designed it so we don't need any props. If you do have any knee problems, maybe you could just grab a blanket. That's about all you're going to need. And whenever you're ready, let's all shift forward into a tabletop position. We're going to move into a child's pose here. So the further you bring your knees apart, the more intense the stretch is going to be. To make it a little easier on you, bring your knees closer together. We're all going to take a deep inhale. On an exhale, let's shift the hips all the way back towards the heels. Let the forehead come all the way down to the ground. Breathe. Listen to what your body's already speaking to you. Like I mentioned, we're going to be here for a while. So you want to be in a position that's not painful for you, that you can breathe easily. And connect to your breath. Connect what your body's telling you here. When you breathe, try to fill those lungs to maximum capacity. As you exhale, just let gravity do its thing here. We're not forcing anything in these poses. We're going to be practicing releasing, letting go, rather than forcing. Let's just rest a little bit heavier into the mat. If you feel like you can go a little further here, maybe bring your knees slightly further apart. Feel the release in the hips, the back, the shoulders. Deep inhale through the nose, filling the lungs to maximum capacity. Exhaling out the nose, controlling the breath. Full complete exhale. Maybe already becoming uncomfortable here. Probably have a lot of practice in our life lately of how to deal with uncomfortable situations. No different, we're just going to breathe. Responding with our breath. The hips store not only a lot of physical tension, but also a lot of mental and emotional tension. So maybe just observe what's coming up here when you're in these positions. Stay here for another minute or so. Every exhale, allowing the hips to just slightly sink closer towards the ground. If you have an Ujjayi breath practice, maybe you can begin that now by taking the tongue to the roof of the mouth, constricting the breath a bit more on the exhale. If you're feeling some extra tension today, maybe exhaling out of the mouth next time, coming into some lion's breath. So deep inhale through the nose. This time as you exhale, you're going to do it with force, like you're trying to fog up a mirror. 2 more times. Deep inhale. Audible exhale. Last time, let's try to make that inhale just a little bit deeper. Exhaling. Okay, one more deep inhale here. Then on the exhale, maybe we can just sigh it out. Feeling some tension releasing from the body. Do that one more time. Deep inhale. Release, exhale. On an inhale, start to walk the hands back towards your body. We're going to come into a toe tuck this time. So tucking the toes underneath you. Maybe this is a lot for you here. If you do have knee problems, this is where you can access that blanket, towel. Just place it under your knees here if you need some extra support. You're going to tuck your toes under your body. Yes, this is going to be very intense. It's okay. You're strong enough to handle it. So we just want to start here with the hands on our thighs. So you can get comfortable here. Let the hips just sink back towards those heels a little bit more. If you want to go a little bit further, maybe we can grab on to opposite elbows behind our back. Opening up the chest. If that feels uncomfortable, bring your pinky toes a little bit wider away from your body. If you want to go a little further, maybe we can come into a half reverse prayer pose by bringing the palms together behind our back. To go even further, maybe we can come into a full reverse prayer by placing or pointing the fingers up towards the ceiling. Breathe into this one. This is challenging. So again, deep inhale through the nose. Exhaling out of the mouth. Deep inhale. Complete exhale. One more inhale if you're with me. On an exhale, let's gently crawl onto our hands and knees. Tapping it out. Maybe rolling out the toes here, the ankles. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, let's put the toes together, knees wide. Sit back for another quick child's pose. You want to go a bit further this time? Lift the elbows off the mat so you can really press that chest back towards the thighs. Sinking the hips back towards the heels. Inhaling to center. Coming into a neutral tabletop position. From here on an exhale, moving into some cat-cows. So releasing that belly. Shoulders, hips pop up to the ceiling. Maybe even looking up towards the ceiling, stretching out the core and the throat. Exhale, rounding. Tucking the tailbone. Looking up and out of the shoulder blades. Maybe looking down at the belly button. Inhale, releasing. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, releasing. This time, audible exhale, lion's breath as we round. Inhale, releasing. Exhale, rounding. Audible exhale. Then we're going to, again, stay here for a little longer than we normally do. So for about a minute or so, we're just going to focus on some cat-cows. Taking whatever kind of organic movement feels good for you. Maybe tuning into places of the body you weren't even aware that you were holding tension. That can either be making some small circles with the hips, moving into a larger and larger rotation each time. Maybe some figure eights. I like to really shift my hips side to side so you feel it more on the sides of the low back, which is a tight area for almost everyone. So you're just going to do whatever feels best for you, listening to your greatest teacher of all, yourself, your body. It's an overall amazing one for spinal health, lubricating the spine, promoting spinal flexibility, mobility. Staying here a little longer than we do today, than we normally do. Still keeping that breath synchronized to your movement. Inhaling to one side, exhaling to the other. No rules here. This is one of those poses that I swear by. If anyone could incorporate one single yoga asana or pose into your day-to-day life, this would be the one I feel like everyone can find the most beneficial. Whether you're an athlete who overuses your body, or sitting at the couch throughout the day, or your desk, it can all lead to the same issues: back problems, low back pain. Stay here for another 30 seconds. Building some fluidity in the spine. If you feel any areas that specifically are having tension, you can always stop, pause, take an extra breath there. Giving yourself what you're asking for today, and that we have a chance to tune into that body awareness and listen to our own needs. Maybe meet them like we so easily meet others at times. One more deep inhale. Gently come back to center. Pausing here in this neutral tabletop position. Maybe already noticing if we feel some tension release from the body. From here, maybe step the hands about a half a foot away from you. Shift the weight into the hands. As you exhale, we're going to lower all the way down onto our stomachs. Halfway down, I should say. Coming into a Sphinx pose. So placing the hands underneath the shoulders to start. We're going to come halfway up. If that's too much for you and too tight for the back, walk the hands away. Maybe bring the forearms down to the ground. If that feels like too much for you still, you can walk the hands even further away from your body. Just feel like a good mid-back shoulder stretch. Wherever you're at, whatever option you choose, just don't hunch down into your shoulders. Make sure we're lifting up and out of our shoulder blades. So not only are we strengthening the shoulders, also feeling the stretch in the back. Breathing here. Again, you don't want to push yourself too far where you can't breathe comfortably. And that could be another powerful lesson we can take off the mat as well. Don't put yourself in any situation where you can't breathe comfortably. An environment, physical pose. Focus on those full, complete inhalations. Deep inhale here. On an exhale, we can sigh it out. Deep inhale here. Maybe an audible exhale. Maybe just try to close your eyes. Noticing where it's feeling tension, what areas are feeling a release. Find steadiness in your breath. comfortable for you here, maybe you can drop the chin to the chest and just start taking some half neck rolls. Playing around with it, not moving too far. The neck may feel tight here. Just gently start to sway the head side to side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, glancing over the left shoulder. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling over to the right. Inhaling back to center. If you're with me, let's hold it here. If you're still feeling like those shoulders are getting a little too tight, bring those hands further away from your body. You're not trying to torture yourself here. One more deep inhale. On an exhale, let's start to walk the hands back towards the body. If your back's feeling a bit looser and you want even a deeper stretch, bring in the hands underneath the shoulders. Let's inhale, scoop the chest forward, straightening the arms all the way, as long as you don't feel too much pinching or tension in the low back. Again, making sure you're lifting up and out of the shoulder blades. Maybe looking up towards the ceiling for an even deeper stretch. Exhaling back to center. Inhaling over to the left. Exhaling back to center. Inhaling over to the right. Exhaling back to center. Slowly lowering. Keep those elbows glued into your side. Lowering all the way down to the mat for a moment here. Let's see if just as slow as we lower, we can inhale back into a tabletop position. Deep inhale here. Exhale, child's pose. If your shoulders need an extra stretch after that last pose, let's bring the hands back by the heels. With the palms up towards the ceiling. Taking a deep inhale here. On an exhale, you're going to roll onto the top of your head, so your hips are going to be up towards the ceiling. Press the back of your hands into the mat a lot. The more you press the back of your hands into the mat, the more of a stretch you're going to feel all along the back of the shoulders. Exhale, slowly lowering. Inhaling, hands back in front of us. Exhale, slowly rolling up into a straight neutral spine on our knees. From here, we're gently gonna come onto our sit bones. Keep that right leg extended out in front of you. Left foot into the right thigh. On an inhale, turn your upper torso over that right leg. Probably best to keep a little baby bend here. Remember, we're going to be here for a minute. On an exhale, let's just gently fold over our right leg. Just letting gravity do its thing here. I'm not forcing anything. Not even trying to grab onto my toes if I can't reach. Let your hands actually just hang heavy to the mat. And you just gently feel the stretch open up on the back of the leg as gravity does its thing here. Every exhale, maybe you can release a bit further, allowing gravity to just gently encourage that stretch. The chest closer to the thigh. If you want a bit more of a stretch this time, you can try to straighten the knee again, not necessary. That's the thing about yin yoga. It's not forcing anything here, we're just releasing. Allowing our body to naturally do what it wants to do, what it's feeling like it needs right now. Tuning in to the feeling of just letting go. Allowing things in the process to take place naturally. Keep connected to that deep breathing. Deep inhale through the nose. Maybe exhaling out of the mouth. Deep inhale through the nose. Move into that lion's breath. Audible exhale out of the mouth. Staying here for just another few moments or so. Feeling that release, feeling that opening. Again, not pushing yourself past a point where you're in pain or you're not able to stay connected to your breath. Staying here for 2 more breath cycles, wherever you're at. On your next inhale, 1 vertebrae of spine at a time, we're going to slowly roll up to a standing or a seated position. Let the shoulders and the head be the last thing to come up. Sitting up tall. You're taking a moment to just roll out the neck. Full neck rolls, maybe just side to side, whatever feels best for you. If you're taking those full neck rolls, go the opposite direction. Still keeping that breath synchronized to the movement. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. If you come across any area that's holding extra tension, we're just going to stop, pause, breathe there. Our next inhale, let's come back to a straight neutral spine. Gently release that left hand, or the left foot out to the left. Right foot into the left thigh. Take a moment to get comfortable here. You might have to move some flesh out of the way so you can see comfortably flat on the ground. Turn your upper torso over that left thigh. Deep inhale here. So I'll keep a little baby bend in our left knee. On an exhale, gently folding over our left leg. Not forcing anything here, so it's okay if you don't have such wide range of motion when you're first starting. As a matter of fact, just listen to that. Why is that? Do you normally? Again, letting gravity do its thing. The only thing we're focusing on is controlling our breath. Notice if one side feels tighter than the other. Give you a good indication of what side you're more dominant in and probably hold more tension in your day-to-day life. But like all things, through awareness is the first step to creating change. Bring your balance to the body, not only physically, but mentally, spiritually, through this practice, through our breathing. Every exhale, see if you can let go just a little more. The head hang heavy. Deep inhale. Maybe on your next exhale, take a lion's breath. Releasing a little bit further. Deep inhale. Audible exhale. Stay here for just a few more moments. Sitting with whatever is arising in the body or the mind. Carving this time out for yourself. Three more breath cycles wherever you're at. Don't forget to breathe. On your next inhale, again, one vertebrae of spine at a time, coming up to a straight neutral spine. Shoulders and head come up last. On an exhale, extend that right leg out in front of you. With both of our legs straight, again, sitting up tall. Deep inhale here. Keeping a little bend in our knees on an exhale, let's just gently slide the hands all the way down the legs. Let the chest just melt into the thighs. Double forward fold. Probably feeling this a bit more in the low back. So you can again, maybe take your blanket if you have it or towels and place it underneath your knees. Is this feeling too tight? I'm not going to stay as long here, so just, again, connecting to your breath. Every exhale, maybe sinking that chest just a little bit closer to the thighs. Deep inhale here. Audible exhale, sink a little bit further. One more full complete inhalation. Audible exhalation. On our inhale, slowly rolling up. Shoulders and head up last. Coming into a straight neutral spine. Keeping our legs straight. Let's inhale our hands out in front of us. Exhale, slowly rolling down one little vertebrae at a time. So your shoulders are the last thing to touch. Once you reach the mat, hug those knees into the chest. Keep your lower back firmly planted, just rocking it out side to side. This is a great release for the low back, sciatic pain, low back pain. This is another one besides that cat-cow flow that we were doing. I feel like everyone can benefit from. They do have low back pain. Taking that awareness even further, if you feel anywhere that has specific pain in the low back, stop, pause, breathe there. Allow the breath to reoxygenate and release any unnecessary tension that you're still feeling. The ground's going to act like a pressure point. I feel like a really good massage. Keep those knees tight into the body. Make sure your lower back is firmly planted. Sometimes people can bring their knees way too tight and it pulls their lower back off the mat. That can cause additional pain and tightness. So maybe you want to take some small circles with the knees here. Some figure eights. Just rocking side to side. Maybe you're feeling some tension you weren't aware of come up, like I am right now. Let that be your teacher. What can we take away and learn from that? What is that trying to tell us? Stay here for 3 more breath cycles. Again, maybe you want to take your breathing work even further by inhaling through the nose, exhaling out of the mouth. Inhaling, scooping up some new energy. Exhaling, releasing everything that's no longer serving us. Inhaling gratitude. Exhaling anxiety. One more inhale. Let's come back to center. Neutral position. Keeping the left knee tight into your body. Cross your right foot over your left knee. Coming into basically a figure 4 pose. Deep inhale as you grab behind your left thigh. Exhale, pull that left leg in closer to your body. Couple options here. If you feel like you want a more intense stretch, slide your right foot closer towards your left hip. If you want to go even further, every time you exhale, press your right knee away with your right elbow. As you inhale, pull that left leg in closer towards your body. Exhale, press the right knee away. Once you get to your maximum range of motion, breathe there. Again, this is a powerful chakra area of the body, so if you're feeling any emotional tension rise up as well as physical, respond with your breath. These slow, prolonged poses don't allow us to hide from anything. Maybe some of us are feeling that way already through this self-quarantine we've been going through. We have nothing to distract us. We have to be oftentimes forced to face how we've been trying to avoid feeling. Let's face it head on, whatever we're feeling. Because again, that's how we create change. These small intentional steps that we make in our day-to-day lives eventually lead to dynamic differences and outcomes in our life and our life experience. Stay here for 3 more breath cycles. Not forcing, just flowing, releasing. On your next inhale, we're going to release the hands behind that left leg. Extend the arms all the way out to a T. Slide your right knee all the way over your left knee so they're interlaced in the center. Keep those knees tight into your body. Deep inhale here. Exhale, releasing the knees over to the left. Let that head fall over to the right. One of my favorite twists, a recline twist. These are believed to be detoxifying poses in yoga. Think of it as wringing out an internal organ like your sponge. You're wringing out some emotional baggage, some emotional stress and tension, anxiety. Pausing here. Letting gravity, the force of nature, do its thing. So funny how it finds a way of being healing when we allow it, when we step away, when we stop forcing. Things have a way of just naturally taking its course. Feeling the opening all along the hip. If you have sciatic pain, maybe feeling it all the way into the low back. Deep inhale here. Audible exhale of choice. Deep inhale. Audible exhale. One more time. We're not going to force anything here. Just trusting the process. Keeping the knees crossed, we're going to engage the core. Inhaling to center. Uncrossing the legs, still keeping them tight into the body. This time we're going to place that left foot over the right knee. Deep inhale as we grab behind that right thigh. Exhale, we're going to get to our starting point, our maximum range of motion. So pull that right leg in towards your body. If you feel like you could even go further, slide that left foot down toward your right hip. You don't have to, that's totally optional. And if you still feel like you want a bit more, start to press your left knee away with your left elbow. Once you get to that edge, we're just going to stay here. Isn't that what life's about? Learning how to get to your edge without crossing the line. Get to your edge. That might be challenging, some discomfort, but not pain. I don't know about you guys. If I can avoid unnecessary pain in my life, I try to. Let's practice that here. Another imperative, impactful lesson we can take off the mat. Just being. Being still is hard for most people. So if you're feeling challenged, you are not alone. But it's a practice, like everything in life. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. Take a deep inhale. Audible exhale. Inhale. Exhale of choice. One more time. Learning how to observe whatever may come up mentally in your thoughts and your body that you're feeling versus reacting to it, versus even responding. Let's just first observe it. Then that will allow us to respond versus react, and that's how we regain control over our mind and our life experience, and it's a ripple effect. It travels out to everyone around you. One more deep inhale here. On an exhale, let's extend those arms out to a T. Cross your left leg all the way over your right. Deep inhale here. Keep those knees tight into your body. Exhale, both knees over towards the right side. Let your head drop over towards the left. Either letting gravity do its thing, or if you're pretty flexible and you want more of a stretch, maybe placing that right hand down on the left knee. Let the weight of the arm just gently increase that, feeling it all along the side of the back, outside of the hip. Noticing how different one side of the body feels than the other. Deep inhale. audible exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Deep inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, let's come back slowly with control. Bringing those knees back into the chest and crossing the legs. Hugging them tight. Rocking it out, side to side. Let's gently release the feet down towards the mat. Keep them about as wide as the mat with the knees up towards the ceiling. Deep inhale here. On an exhale, drop both the knees over towards the left side. You're going to pick up your left foot, place it on top of your right knee. Feeling just a little more isolated stretch for the hip. Make sure you're all the way onto the edge of your right foot, so you don't have it placed up towards the ceiling. Just letting the weight of your left foot on your right knee stretch out the entire right side of the hip. Deep inhale. On an exhale, release the left foot on top of the right knee. Place the left foot down towards the ground. Inhale both the knees back up towards the ceiling. Keeping the feet planted where they are. On an exhale, you're going to drop both of your knees over towards the right side. Pick up your right foot, place it on top of your left knee. The weight of the foot and the leg is just gently going to open up the entire left side of the hip. Slowly release that right foot off the left knee. Hug the knees back to center. Low back firmly planted. Rocking it out. Coming back to stillness at the center. You're going to drop your feet to the mat. Bring your bottoms of your feet together as you let your knees open up wide to a diamond shape. Stretching out the hips. The bottoms of the feet come together, knees open up wide. Maybe you want to bring your hands to your belly as you just focus on your breathing. Let's bring one hand on our chest, one hand on our stomach. As you inhale, first feel the chest rise. Then the stomach expand. As you exhale, feel the stomach compress as it rises back up the chest. Let's focus on that diaphragmatic breathing, feeling the belly rise and fall. Feeling the chest rise and fall. Inhale here. Audible exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more deep inhalation. On an exhale, if you want to go further in those poses, let's extend the arms up overhead. Maybe some of us can grab opposite elbows. Feeling the stretch in the shoulders and the hips. Letting gravity do its thing. Continuing to breathe here. Each exhale, let those knees just sink a little heavier towards the earth. If you can't quite grab opposite shoulders overhead, you can grab opposite forearms or maybe wrists. Your choice. Staying here for 2 more breath cycles. On your next inhale, let's slowly bring those knees back into the chest, lower back firmly planted, rocking it out side to side here. Focusing on any areas you're still holding tension, stop, pause, breathe there. On our next inhale, let's grab onto the inside of the feet, moving into our happy baby pose. So stacking the ankles right over the knees. Try to press those knees down towards the ground. Lower back firmly planted. If you still want to release that low back, we're going to gently start to rock side to side here. They utilize a little core strength so you don't fall straight over. I like to make it a little bit more intense, keeping one knee bent. Try to straighten the other leg as much as possible, even if you can't get it all the way straight. Alternating sides. Feeling a deep stretch for the thighs, hips, release for the low back. Let's play around with it, grabbing the outside of the feet this time. Same thing, keeping one knee bent. Trying to straighten the other leg as much as possible. Deep inhale. Audible exhale. One more time. And then on your exhale, we're going to bring the bottoms of the feet together in a reclined butterfly pose this time, interlacing fingers behind the feet. Just as we would in a seated butterfly pose, on the inhale, we're pulling those feet into the body. Exhale, pressing the knees away. 2 more times, just like that. Inhaling the feet into the body. Exhaling, knees away. Now that we're at this maximum range of motion, we're going to hold it here for a few moments, breathing into it. Deep stretch for the hips, hip flexors, psoas. Again, not forcing anything. Just allowing, releasing, not holding on to tension, letting go. Deep inhale, audible exhale. One more time. And on an exhale, we're going to come into our most important and final pose, Shavasana, where you simply just get to lie here for a moment. So take a second to get comfortable, make any adjustments. Maybe you want to take a sip of water. Whatever you need to do to allow you to rest comfortably for a few minutes. Then whenever you're ready, so you can lie down. I'm just going to sit up so you can hear me clearly. Traditionally, when you're in a Shavasana, you place your palms up for receiving, down for grounding. Yogi's choice. Most important pose because this is where we're taking that last final scan of the body. So before we go any further, let's start at the crown of the head. I want you to pick one anxiety, maybe a stress for this week, something on your to-do list that's been making you uneasy. And I want you to imagine that, visualize it dissipating from your mind frame, no longer a part of you. With that empty space, let's set one positive intention for ourselves for this week. Make it something realistic, something small, not some life-altering declaration, something that's easy for us to obtain. Notice how that instantly shifts the energy in your body. With that shift of awareness, we're going to move it back down towards our face. Feel the muscles begin to soften around the eyes, the jaw. The tongue can release from the roof of the mouth. Moving down to the neck and the shoulders. Any remaining tension just melt away. Allow the breathing to return back to normal. Our belly can get soft. The hips, thighs, knees, shin, ankles, all just melt a little heavier into the mat until you feel that presence of your own power, the power of you, I like to call it, envelop your entire body from head to toe. We're just going to sit with that for the next few moments and the magnitude of that before you move back into the remainder of your evening, your upcoming weekend, your upcoming week. Hopefully feeling rejuvenated, refreshed, restored, and ready for whatever may come your way. Whenever you're ready, let's gently start to bring some awareness back into our body. Let's first start by wiggling our fingers, wiggling the toes, maybe rolling out the ankles and the wrists. I always like to reach overhead, giving myself a nice morning stretch. Keeping the eyes closed, sitting with this last bit of internal awareness. Let's hug the knees back into the chest one more time. Giving ourselves a legit hug like we would give someone that we love. Showing ourselves that love and care that may be so easy for us to give others but not ourselves. Your next exhale, let's roll onto whatever side you prefer. We're going to press ourselves back into a seated position. Trying to keep your eyes closed if you can. Releasing the hands out to the side. Let's slowly inhale all the way up overhead. Scooping up some new energy, abundance, opportunities. Exhaling hands to center. Releasing some gratitude into the world. That, my lovely friends, concludes our yoga class for this evening. Namaste. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I feel a hell of a lot better. So thank you for joining me. I love you guys all so much. Catch me tomorrow at 11 for an all levels flow. In the meantime, have a beautiful night, people.